All right, this is going to be the Unit 9 video for 8th grade whenever we're talking about volume of cylinders. So taking a look at the formula that we've got here, this is the formula that you guys have been using since 7th grade. A lot of things that we used it for triangular prisms, rectangular prisms, and a lot of other things. But we are going to be using it specifically for cylinders this time around. V is obviously our volume. Big B is the area of our base. And then H is the height of that base. But big B is really what I really want to talk about first. Big B, being the area of the base, is going to be the area of this circle right here. So we have to find the area of our circle, then we have to multiply it by the height of our figure. So looking back over here, to find the area of a circle, what we have to do is we are going to be doing pi times the radius squared. Keep in mind that squared means multiplying times itself. Then we have to multiply by our height. So primarily, this is what we are going to be worried about. But I will be asking you guys to show the work wherever you write this stuff down. Show me that you know what the area of the base is and the height of the figure. And then you'll plug your numbers in and work from there. So take a look at this first example. It says determine the volume of the cylinder, round to the nearest tenth. I'm not too worried about rounding right now, so I'm not going to worry about that. So they've already kind of given us the formula here. What bugs me about it is that it doesn't have the big B and the H by itself. This part right here, this is big B. That's the area of our base. So we do pi r squared to find the area of the circle. And then this part right here is just the height of our figure. So again, hopefully I haven't done the colors yet. So this right here, we are going to find the area of the base first. Then we are going to multiply it by the height. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start plugging the numbers that I know into the formula. For the area of the base, pi is going to be 3.14. For our radius, we've got to come over here, look at the circle on top, and the radius is the dimension that goes halfway across the circle. So our radius here is going to be 2. So I'm going to do this times 2 squared. And now I have to look at the height of the entire figure. So the height, we've already marked it here, is going to be 5 inches. So do all of this times 5. So I'm going to do numbers kind of one at a time. First, I'm going to do my 3.14. 2 squared is 2 times 2, which is 4. And then I'm going to be doing that part times the height of the cylinder. This part right here, because we do get calculators, we're just going to go ahead and plug this whole thing in. So we're going to be doing 3.14 times 4 times 5, or you could do 3.14 times 20. When you multiply those three numbers, you get 62.8, and I already forgot what we were talking about over here. This is going to be in inches. So this is going to be 62.8 inches cubed. I'm only going to run through a few of these exercises on this portion. Pretty much going to pick one of each kind, and then I'll let you guys work some of those out on your own. So again, we are going to be doing volume on each one of these figures. So our volume formula is that V equals area of the base times the height. For the area of our base, we're finding the area of the circle, and they are giving us a radius of 10. So our formula for area of the base is pi r squared, because that's how you find the area of a circle. And then our height is going to be the height of the entire figure. So again, pi is going to be 3.14. Our radius is going to be 10 squared. And our height of our entire figure is 18. I'm going to go ahead and keep the 3.14 for right now. 10 squared is 100. That's 10 times 10. And again, we have to do that times 18. I'm going to break this one down just a little bit more. 100 times 18, pretty much going to be 18, 2 zeros on the end. And now we got to multiply these two numbers. 3.14 times the 1800. We get a value of 5652, and this is going to be millimeters cubed. Taking a look at the next one. Again, we're using the volume formula for area of the base times the height. At this point, you ought to be pretty comfortable with this part right here. For the area of this circle right here, we are going to be doing pi r squared, and we're going to be multiplying it times the height. The radius on this one is going to be that 4, so we're going to do 3.14 times the radius squared, and now times the height of 12.9. So we still have 3.14, haven't done anything with it yet. 4 squared is 4 times 4, that is 16. We're going to do that times the 12.9. And at this stage, I'm just going to plug these numbers into the calculator and get what I need back out. The value, we get 648. And I'm going to round to the nearest tenth on this one. It's 0.09, but I'm going to round it up to 1. That will be feet cubed, because we're talking about volume. Now I'm going to go down to here to number 4. This time they just give us a radius and a height, which is really all we need in order to be able to solve this. So I'm still going to use the same formula. Volume equals area of the base times the height. And I know that if I'm dealing with a cylinder, I'm going to be using pi r squared, and then times the height of the figure. So since they've already given us the radius, I'm pretty much good to plug all my numbers in. So pi is 3.14. That radius is going to be 9.5. We'll have to square it, and then times the height of 2.2. That 9.5 squared is going to be 90.25, so now I'm just going to finish filling this out. So 3.14 times 90.25, and again times that 2.2. And from here we can just do the 3.14 times the 90.25 times the 2.2. We get a total value of 623. I'm going to round a little bit, 0.4, that'll be yards cubed. Once you've got the formula down, again, if you are comfortable with this part right here and understanding the area of the base is everything there in red, then this really isn't too bad. From here, I'm going to take a look at a couple of the homework problems for you guys. I mostly want to talk about number 1 here because they changed things up on us just a little bit. This time around, we need a radius, but they gave us a diameter, which is that distance all the way across. So our radius is actually going to be 5 feet instead. So our formula is volume equals area of the base times the height. Area of the base is the same formula we've been using, pi r squared. And we'll do that times the height of our entire figure. Pi is going to be 3.14. Our radius we just figured out is 5. And our height is going to be that 6 feet. And I haven't touched the 3.14 yet, but 5 squared is 5 times 5, which is 25. Times 6. 3.14 times 25 times 6, and we get a value of 471 feet cubed. The rest of the images I'm going to let you guys handle. I do want to talk briefly about number 7. It says, what is the volume of a barrel that has a diameter of 1.5 feet and a height of 4 feet? When in doubt, draw yourself a picture. Draw a circle, a couple lines down, and call it a day. They are telling us that the diameter, the distance all the way across, is at 1.5 feet. And we know the height right here is 4 feet. What I need right here is the radius. So I've got to do half of 1.5. So half of 1.5 is 0.75 feet. That's what that distance right there is going to be. So now from here, I just plug things into my formula. Area of the base is still the same formula because we're dealing with a cylinder. The height is already given to us. And now we just plug in numbers. 3.14 times that 0.75 squared. Again, times the height of 4. From right here, I'm just going to plug this all into the calculator. You can actually plug this all in exactly as you see it. You can do 3.14 times that 0.75 squared and times 4. And you get a value of 7. I'm going to round a little bit, 1. And I believe this is feet. So it's going to be 7.1 feet cubed. We're talking about volume. On this backside, it's more of the same thing. 8 through 11, you're just matching for A, B, C, and D. Keep in mind that sometimes they are going to give you the diameter, so you would need radius, which would be half of that. And these other ones, except for number 11, they give you the radius already. So here, again, the radius is going to be 4.1, which is half of the diameter. And And then a couple of word problems, which aren't too bad. They're pretty straightforward. Make sure that you identify what the radius should be. Keep in mind they're giving you the diameter on number 12 and the diameter on number 13. And they already give you the height, which makes that pretty easy. So make sure that you know what your radius is going to be here, and make sure you know what your radius is going to be here. The rest of those are going to be on your own. If you have any questions, make sure you're asking.